In the distant corridors of the future, the stars are a stage for a grand drama of power, intrigue, and a substance known as the spice. Within this cosmic theatre, noble houses rule over planetary domains, bound together in a feudal system, under the control of the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV of House Carino. The universe's political arena is shaped by a council called the Lanzarad. Comprising various noble houses, it's a delicate dance of allegiance and competition, balanced against the Emperor's dominion. But amidst the gilded halls of power and the darkened chambers of conspiracy, one truth reigns supreme. He who controls the spice controls the universe. At the nexus of commerce and power stands the Combine Honite Ober Advancer Mercantiles, or CHOAM. This colossal interstellar corporation is the spider at the center of a web that stretches across the galaxy, weaving together the interests of the Emperor, the great houses of the Lanzarad, and the mysterious workings of the spice trade. In this intricate dance of power and profit, where CHOAM's monopoly looms large, two houses vie for a hold over spice production. House Harkonnen's homeworld is Gadi Prime, an industrial wasteland that is heavily polluted and characterized by a brutal and harsh environment. This world mirrors the nature of House Harkonnen itself. Headed by Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, the house is known for its ruthlessness, treachery, and cunning. The Baron's leadership emphasizes control through fear and brutality, aligning with the house's general ethos of achieving power at any cost. The Harkonnens' wealth heavily depends on their control of the planet Arrakis, where they harvest and refine spice for the CHOAM Company. Their wealth is used to further their ambitions, reflecting their values and traits of deception, manipulation, and brutality. There is little regard within House Harkonnen for nobility or ethics, and their goals are pursued with a cold, calculating efficiency. In contrast, House Atreides calls the lush, oceanic planet of Caladan its home. The temperate climate symbolizes the more humane and just approach of House Atreides, juxtaposed against the barrenness of Gadi Prime. Duke Leto Atreides, known for his wisdom, compassion, and strong sense of justice, leads the house. His leadership fosters loyalty and respect amongst his subjects. The Atreides military is well-trained and honorable, guided by a sense of duty and loyalty rather than brutality. Caladan's economy thrives on agriculture and fishing, reflecting the house's fair and benevolent approach to governance. The values and traits of honor, integrity, and compassion define House Atreides as they strive to lead with empathy and wisdom, always valuing the welfare of their people. Paul Atreides lives on Caladan. He is the son of Duke Leto Atreides and his Bene Gesserit concubine, Lady Jessica. Paul is a fusion of noble lineage and mystic potential. His nights are filled with haunting dreams of shifting sands and a beautiful Fremen woman. His days are consumed by lessons in combat, politics, and a mysterious art known as the voice. The voice is the ability to use precise tones and intonations to control others' actions. The voice is a special ability possessed by the Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserit are a secretive group of women who possess advanced physical and mental abilities, referred to as the Weirding Way. They play a strong role in the shadows of the Lanzarat, as the Sisterhood's Reverend Mothers often serve as advisors or concubines to powerful men, subtly influencing events according to the Bene Gesserit's long-term plans. Paul trains hard in physical combat as well as mental, battling with his father's general, Gurney Halleck, in a bladed duel using Holtzman shields. Holtzman shields, or personnel shields, create a protective barrier around objects or individuals, deflecting physical attacks. Paul's father, Duke Leto, is assigned to take over the stewardship of Arrakis from House Harkonnen by the Emperor Shaddam IV and continue the task of spice production. While this move offers Atreides the prospect of great wealth and power within the Lanzarad, this shift is a double-edged sword, putting them in a dangerous position as House Harkonnen is not likely to give up their control so easily. Although, with the promise of prosperity and a potential alliance with the people of Arrakis, the Fremen, the Atreides accept the Emperor's request. In the early hours of the morning, before the Atreides leave for Arrakis, Paul finds himself visited by Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohiam, a very powerful and dangerous woman, as she is a leader of the Bene Gesserit and acts as the personal advisor to the Emperor. Her presence on Caladan is more than a mere visit. It is a harbinger of a profound examination. The trial she presents Paul is that of the Gom Jabbar, a test as ancient as it is terrifying. Within a deceptively simple box lies a world of agony. A needle, poisoned with death, awaits Paul's throat, held in check only by his resolve. Should he withdraw his hand, his life will be forfeit. As Paul's hand burns in unseen torment, he endures, surpassing all expectations. His triumph is not just personal, it ripples through the very fabric of prophecy, igniting hope within his mother that he may be the Kwisatz Haderach, a mysterious being the Bene Gesserit have been carefully trying to breed for centuries. House Atreides then embarks on their destined path, leaving their oceanic home, guided by the immense ships of the Spacing Guild, enabling their navigation through the stars to Arrakis, the inhospitable world of colossal sandworms and deadly heat. In the stronghold city of Arrakeen, they are met by a chorus of voices, the chanting of the Fremen, the desert-dwelling people of Dune. The words they chant, Lisan al-Gayyib, echo with the weight of prophecy. Translated as the voice from the outer world, it speaks of a messiah, a transformative figure that will lead the Fremen to paradise. The prophecy of the Lisan al-Gayyib is no mere legend. It is a carefully woven tapestry by the Bene Gesserit as part of their Missionaria Protectiva program. This program involved planting myths and prophecies in various cultures throughout the galaxy to create conditions that might later be exploited by the Bene Gesserit. As the Atreides settle into their new home, the echoes of the Fremen's chant lingers in the air, a haunting reminder that Paul's destiny and the future of Arrakis are entwined in a dance of fate and manipulation. After House Atreides have settled in the desolate, sweltering city of Arrakeen, protected from the heat of the day by thick stone walls, a sinister presence makes its way into the young Paul's room. Known as a hunter-seeker, this small floating probe, often unseen and unheard, is a harbinger of death. It slithers through the shadows, guided remotely by an unseen operator. Silently it hovers, attuned to movement and warmth. The victim's only hope lies in stillness, in freezing like a statue, for the device is blind to the immobile. Paul's instincts and training serve him well as he evades the relentless machine. The discovery of a dead Harkonnen operator hidden within the city's walls reveals the sinister plot aimed at the heir of House Atreides. The incident sends shockwaves through the Atreides ranks, reaching Thufir Hawat, the Mentat of House Atreides. A Mentat is a human marvel, a thinking machine in flesh and blood, trained to fill the void left by the outlawing of artificial intelligence and computing during the ancient and mysterious war called the Butlerian Jihad. For their success on Dune, House Atreides faces the monumental task of gaining the trust of the Fremen, the native people who have woven their existence into the very fabric of the desert. To forge this alliance, Duke Leto sent his loyal lieutenant and swordmaster Duncan Idaho ahead of the Atreides' arrival to seek out the Fremen's hidden desert enclaves called Sietches. Success marks Duncan's mission when he returns with Stilgar, a formidable Fremen chieftain. During a meeting with House Atreides, Stilgar's scrutiny falls heavily upon Paul. The warrior's eyes hold a question, a curiosity mingled with caution. Could Paul really be the Messiah that they have been waiting for? With a plea for his people to be left in peace, Stilgar quickly departs, leaving a palpable tension in the air. Duke Leto and Paul then encounter Dr. Kynes, a planetary ecologist who lives with the Fremen, and serves as a judge of the change of power on behalf of the Emperor. The judge's role is to be an impartial mediator, supervising the changeover of assets, resources, and responsibilities, all while ensuring that various treaties and agreements are honoured by both departing and incoming parties. The meeting, though, is tinged with foreboding, as Kynes reports the Harkonnens' treacherous sabotage of the spice harvesting equipment. When taking an ornithopter tour of the desert with Kynes, a sudden crisis unfolds as a spice harvester fails. Stranded on the desert's unforgiving surface, the Atreides responds with urgency, landing on the desert to save the harvester's crew. This unexpected exposure to raw spice triggers intense visions within Paul, offering him a bewildering glimpse into possible futures. The enormity of the desert reveals itself when a sandworm swallows the abandoned harvester whole. The incident leaves a deep impression, a testament to the terrifying and majestic forces that rule Arrakis. Back in the safety of Arrakeen, Paul is haunted by the visions he experienced in the desert. In a heartfelt conversation with his mother Jessica, he recalls seeing disturbing images of his death, and astonishingly reveals that he knows of her pregnancy. Jessica is surprised by his vision, as she has only just become aware of the pregnancy herself. Paul's prescient abilities further lend to the growing evidence that he may be the Kwisatz Haderach, as Jessica suspects. Meanwhile, the gears of war are set in motion on the prison planet of Seleucus Secundus. Here, in a nightmarish landscape where only the cruelest survive, the Emperor's secret weapon is forged. His private army, the Sardaukar. These brutal warriors, shaped by a relentless environment and an unyielding regimen, are the embodiment of fear and power. The Baron, his ambitions as vast as the desert itself, insists on their involvement in the invasion of Arrakis, recognizing their unparalleled might. The sands of Arrakis are about to be stained with blood, and the fate of House Atreides hangs in the balance. That night, in the shadowy hallways of Arrakeen, a tragedy unfolds that has the potential to shake the foundations of House Atreides. Dr. Wellington Yue, the personal physician to the Atreides family, betrays Duke Leto. Dr. Yue is distinguished by his title of Suk Doctor, marked by a diamond on his forehead, an emblem signifying his graduation from the esteemed Suk School. This institution is renowned for training the most skilled and ethical doctors in the universe, infusing them with a conditioning that is said to be unbreakable. Even though this is the case, Dr. Yue's beloved wife, Wana, has been captured and subjected to unthinkable torture at the hands of House Harkonnen. The Harkonnens, in their relentless pursuit of power and revenge against the Atreides, exploit Dr. Yue's love and despair, blackmailing him into becoming an unwilling participant in their treacherous plans. As Duke Leto investigates a dying maid in the hall, he is attacked by Dr. Yue. The doctor's hand, guided by a twisted blend of loyalty and guilt, administers a drug that immobilizes the Duke. Yue's face, a mask of torment, looms over the Duke as he reveals his terrible plan. With a surgeon's precision, he replaces one of the Duke's teeth with a false one, filled with a deadly poisonous gas. It's a weapon, a last chance for vengeance against the Baron Harkonnen. A single bite from a Duke, a single breath, and the Baron's triumph could turn to dust. although it would also be the Duke's dying breath. With the Sardaukars' relentless assault, the Atreides warriors brave but outnumbered fall. Arrakeen, the heart of the Duke's new domain, is once again under the rule of the Harkonnen. The Baron's triumph is at hand, but the desert is a place of secrets and whispers, and the story of Arrakis is far from over. In the shadow of the Baron's ruthless attack, Paul and Jessica find themselves caught in desperate circumstances. They are trapped in an ornithopter and led into the deep desert by the Baron's men, who seek to leave them in the lethal sands to die. They manage to take control of the ornithopter, landing it onto the unforgiving sands of Arrakis, alone to face the elements. Hidden within the ornithopter, though, is a beacon of hope, a Frem kit, a secret gift from the tragic Dr. Yue. This small mercy grants Paul and Jessica a brief respite in the shelter of the desert, a chance to breathe, to mourn, to fear what is yet to come. The spice-laden air stirs Paul's mind, unlocking visions of a future soaked in violence, a holy war waged in his name that stretches across the stars. He feels the weight of destiny and the cold, calculating manipulation of the Bene Gesserit. Meanwhile, the twisted plot unfolds. Dr. Yue's desperate bid to save his wife crumbles in his hands as the Baron reveals the cruel truth. She is already dead. Duke Leto's final sacrifice, a poisoned tooth intended to kill the Baron, only eliminates Peter de Ries, the Baron's twisted mentat, and others in the Baron's court. The Baron himself narrowly escapes death, floating to safety in a grotesque dance of survival. Elsewhere in the desert, the battle-hardened Duncan Idaho stumbles upon Dr. Liet Kynes, confronting her for her role in the betrayal. Although she foresaw the fall of House Atreides, her sympathies lie with them. Together, they locate Paul and Jessica, taking them to an ecological research outpost, a secret gem in the desert that once harbored dreams of turning Arrakis into a green oasis. Paul discloses that he has a plan: to marry one of Shaddam IV's daughters to prevent a civil war once the Emperor's treachery is exposed. Although in their brief moment of reprieve, the Sardaukar still stalk them. They attack the base silently. Duncan Idaho makes the ultimate sacrifice, fighting the Sardaukar till his last breath to allow the Atreides to escape. As they flee, Kynes is fatally wounded, but summons a sandworm to annihilate the Sardaukar, allowing Paul and Jessica to escape in a battered ornithopter. Meanwhile, the Baron, triumphant but wary, places Arrakis under the cruel governance of his nephew, Rabban. The mother and son escape once more, the desert's vast expanse swallowing them. Paul and his mother must make a desperate choice. Guided by the burgeoning prescience stirring within Paul, they veer their ornithopter into a looming sandstorm, a swirling titan of Arrakis' fury. Within the storm, they lose control of their fragile craft, the world spinning into chaos as sand and wind batter them from every direction. The ornithopter, caught in the storm's relentless grasp, spins out of control and crashes into the sand, leaving Paul and Jessica at the mercy of the desert. As night descends, the desert transforms into a place of mystery and menace. They must survive a night alone on the shifting sands, knowing that the danger of Shai Hulud, the giant sandworm, lurks below them. As they navigate through the sands, they are almost killed by a sandworm. In their rush to run to an outcrop of rock, salvation comes in the form of a rhythmic thumping. A Fremen thumper, a device designed to create rhythmic sounds that distract the colossal worms. The danger passes, the worm diverted, and they find their unexpected saviors to be Stilgar's tribe of Fremen. These desert dwellers, wrapped in enigmatic stillsuits and eyes glowing blue from the spice, regard Paul and Jessica with suspicion and awe. The prophecy of the Messiah, known to the Fremen, hangs in the air. A challenge is issued by Jameis, a fierce and proud member of the tribe. Paul's use of the Weirding Way, along with the mysterious circumstances under which he and his mother arrived in the desert, provoke suspicion and resentment among some of the Fremen. Jameis in particular is vocal in his distrust and challenges Paul to a fight to the death, as is the custom among the Fremen. In the fight, Paul initially hesitates, unaccustomed to fighting to the death, and is conflicted about killing. His reluctance and lack of understanding of Fremen customs nearly cost him his life. But with guidance from Stilgar, the Fremen leader, and his own combat training, Paul ultimately prevails, though not without struggle and inner turmoil. The death of Jameis is not a moment of triumph, but one of somber reflection for Paul. He takes no joy in the kill, recognizing the loss of life and feeling the weight of the path he is now set upon. The duel serves as a turning point for Paul, marking his transition from a sheltered noble's son to a member of the Fremen, at one with the desert and their ways. It also reinforces Paul's position as the messianic figure that the Fremen have been awaiting, sealing his fate as once and for all he will be a part of the desert. A face catches Paul's eye, a face from his dreams, Cheney, the Fremen woman that has haunted him for months. The realization that she is real and that she is there among Stilgar's tribe is both exhilarating and terrifying. His dreams have become his reality, and the path he must walk is laden with both promise and peril. The sands of Arrakis have accepted him, and his visions, once distant and nebulous, are now his destiny unfolding. As the film concludes, the image of a Fremen warrior riding one of the giant sandworms signifies a deep connection between the desert's inhabitants and its most feared creatures. It foreshadows a greater conflict yet to come. The desolate beauty of Arrakis, with its underlying mystique, sets the stage for Paul's ongoing journey, a journey that has only just begun, where myth and reality are intertwined. Where will Paul be led next, as the sands of fate blow around Paul, his mother, the Fremen, and the Harkonnens? What will come of the prophecy of the Muad'Dib?